and turn it into fuel.
Right.
Fuel it to the fire that you're
Right.
working towards. Now you got 10 people saying, okay, you can't do this.
Yes.
Now those 10 people that says you can't do this, can you turn around and make them 10 people who didn't believe you could do it and do it?
Right.
Right.
And so many people, they look for those 10 to say no, but that one person that'll give you their boost would just sometimes be all you need.
Listen, I'm going to say, black folks, we tear each other down. We are crabs in a barrel. That when we see somebody chasing their dreams and aspirations, we think they're weird or strange or different. Yes, I'm weird. I'm strange. I'm different. And if you can't rock with me, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Because I love myself enough to say, I'm better. And I'm not better than you, but I can do better at this.
Right.
I can become better. And that's what I'm desperate for. If it's not moving in my direction, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to go out from literally Tuesday to Sunday.
Wow.
Kicking it hard, okay? Had something to do every day. I found out something to do every day. And I was desperate for the attention.
Wow.
And now when you get older and you become more mature and different things and you go through some experiences, you just don't have the desire to be desperate for that. And when you're not desperate for attention, people will still be attracted to you.
It comes naturally.
But it's just different. I don't have to do whatever to be seen.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Right.
And that's the light, that we all possess.
Right.
And that people are attracted. Why do you think a moth is attracted to flame?
Right.
Why do you think that when you squint your eyes when it's dark and you squint your eyes when the light comes on? Because you want your light to overtake where you're going.
That's right.
I
all
mean,
the time.
so that's the positive outlook. That light, that desperation of where you're going is really important. And you have to agree with yourself to agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that sounds crazy, but you can't say that you profess one thing and then you don't want to, go any further with your success because you worried about the thoughts of others.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really sticking out to me because people will try to hold you back and press you down because they want to keep you at a level so they're comfortable.
But that's because they're scared.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. If you want to get all the way down to the bare bones of it, if anybody does anything that, let's say we're all in a situation and it's negative and we don't like it, but we could all sit and talk about it. Oh, we hate this, we hate this, we hate this, we hate this, we hate this. But the one person that gets up and does something about it, now you're going to talk about them too because now they made a stand. But is their stand wrong or the fact that they made a stand for themselves is right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with growing for your success. I'm going to go do this and be the individual that does this, and I'm going to stand alone.
Yeah.
Don't try to piggyback later on because when I go, I'm gone.
Right.
I'm gone.
Because at the end of the day, and shout out to Tyler Perry for saying this on one of his plays, how bad do you really want it? Like, I'm willing for the age that I am now, I'm willing to sometimes forsake everything and everybody and keep on pushing by myself. Like, it's just like the book, The Little Engine That Could. He kept on going, even though he had things that was behind him trying to weigh him down. He kept going and going to the top of the hill till he finally got to the top, and he went from I think I can to I know I can.
All right.
Despite of what's holding me back.
And listen, I don't want everybody who's listening to think that this is easy because that would be a lie.
Okay.
It's not.
Because chasing after anything takes some endurance, some resilience, has some stamina attached to it. And sometimes you just have to get yourself fit, mind fit, physically fit in order to go to the next level. And it's a sacrifice.
Right.
You're going to have to make a decision despite of what people think, what people say, how people look at you, may think you're strange, and go for it.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
if you stay in that place, you'll be in the same place next week, and you won't be able to go any further, in the direction that you need to go. And who has time for that? You know what I'm saying?
No one.
Nobody.
Right. So, yeah, it's crazy. Also to the fact of the matter is that when going for this type of desperation, we have to uplift our people up and encourage that may not have the strength to get up.
Yeah.
Because you never know, the people that are around you in your circle are watching you and paying attention to you and want to be around you because they see that drive and they just want a little piece of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I was going to say on top of that, if you have managed to make your way to a successful place in your life, don't be so selfish that you can't reach back and help somebody.
Always.
Right.
Especially if they're
That's true.
striving
That's
to
true.
do better.
Have to. You have to give back, and a lot of people fail in to give back in the benevolent aspect of it. When you do that, everything comes back to you. I mean, I hate to be so biblical, but it comes back tenfold.
Absolutely.
If you want to be realistic, give
Absolutely.
back. Give.
Yeah,
It
and it's
comes
just
back.
like, it ain't necessarily got to be money all the time.
Nope.
If I asked you, Larisha or T, how did you get to the place where you're at? And it's just like, oh, well, you got to work for it. I know I have to work for it, but there are steps. Like, you have to not necessarily
give
me some advice.
A tip.
That's a great. I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Segue into the steps that you have to take to get to that next place is definitely going to be faith. It's going to have to be definitely have some courage, and people going to think you downright crazy because you still got rent, car note, lights, all that stuff due. And you making a faith step like that to go and chase your dreams, you have to be that bold, which leads me into Tristan made a major life change. Right. And I'm going to have her share of this. But what I can tell you is I'm proud of her in advance because, it's an inspiration. Everything you have to do in timing. So my leap is not going to be the same thing as your leap.
Right.
But I wanted Tristan to share about some of the challenges that she had because she talked about she was searching for freedom. And when you're desperate for freedom and desperate for change, you have to make some major change. So, Tristan, tell us about one of the major changes that you made. And since you don't work there no more, you can mention the company.
Yeah, because I'm not an employee any longer. So, I had some issues where I work at a Charter Spectrum, and I will not bash the company by any means. But it was fun while I was there before things changed over. I was originally hired under Time Warner, who no longer exists. So I can definitely speak on that. But my experiences there shifted. And when people didn't care and I took my proper channels and I went the proper routes and I talked to the proper people, didn't skip a step in management and didn't go over anyone's heads and tried to do everything I can and even went and got a counselor for somebody to tell me to quit my job.
Wow.
I went to a job prescribed counselor who told me to quit my job and that my job was causing me stress in my life. Wow. And so as of Thursday, this past Thursday, I put in a resignation and I am no longer working for that company. And I am 100% liberated by that fact. And the crazy thing is they tried to give me a slow clap out. And I was like, it's not a big deal for me. I'm making it's not a big deal for y'all. It's a big deal for me. I'm making a stance for myself.
Right.
And I can now focus on our podcast and
Right.
I can focus on my blog and I can focus on being a hairstylist and I can focus on just being a better me and living through my entrepreneurial spirit that I was born with. I think that there's some people who are meant to punch a clock. I'm not one of them.
Right.
And everybody's not going to, like you said, Cookie, jump when I do. But my dad sent me a link to Steve Harvey's inspirational jump. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to
that
Uncle
is a
Steve.
good series, and he has a whole conference. Just to let you know that he's one person I would definitely plug all day, every day, because he has a whole conference. And let me tell you, he started from the bottom. Now he's there, and
Yes,
still
he
going because he's from Cleveland, Ohio, like I am. And definitely when he talks about sleeping in his car to being full blown successful, and all he wants to do now is give back.
Right.
So shout out to Steve Harvey and his whole team and his spirit of always wanting to connect people to their success. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just love Steve Harvey.
Well, no, you're fine. And the thing that you said was connecting to my success, and that's what he did. I mean, he said if you wake up every day worrying about struggling going to work, or you dread going into where you work, or you dread doing this and you dread doing that, and you can't seem to find a grasp where there has to be more to life, you got to figure out what's going to work for you.
Absolutely.
Now, you might have a gift somewhere in there, and if your gift can make you money, then by all means, go for it.
Right.
And I have something that I paid a lot of money to obtain that I was naturally gifted at from the beginning. So we're going to go back to that full throttle because that's what I know. And I know that that will always be a lucrative business for me. So I will one day give y'all the details in a future show. As of right now, it is all in the planning process, but stay tuned. Blog will be launching in a couple of weeks now that I have the free time to take these photos and get the information and do this stuff for y'all. Not for just for me, but for the information for y'all as well. So I'm
gift
grateful.
that keeps on giving.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, because I'm excited for you because this is a new chapter for some people, but this is just a continuation of your story. And I think that by you doing that, it set a lot of things in order because now they're going to let somebody else have to have a chance. They're going to have to open up some other doors for other people to have opportunities. And your end all be all was never to be there for a lifetime, you know. So I think that's when it's settled within you, you can move forward. And go in peace, you know, and you have to have peace. Now, one thing that Tristan's not talking about, which I'm going to bring up because I'm not trying to be messy, but I feel like it all has to do with your leadership. It all has to be with, you know, how you feel as an employee that makes you want to stay or to leave.
Correct.
And that's with every aspect of your life. Like, you know, if you want to stay or you want to leave.
Right.
You know, so if you're desperate for success and it's not going to where you're going, you may have to leave.
Yeah.
You may have to.
And it's difficult. It's not easy to leave and walk away from stuff that you've been doing. It's part of your routine.
Oh, no, it took me 4 weeks. 4 whole weeks. I tossed and turned.
How about the people who did years?
I don't know. I don't know how. And that's the crazy part is that I'm so baffled as to how they can. I see so many gifted people in that place, and I just don't know how they just sit there. And I'm just like, that is the craziest thing in the world. And maybe my blessing is my dad, and maybe my blessing are my.
I was about to
parents.
say you have a support system, which a lot of people don't have a support system.
Yeah.
You have a support system that wants to see you succeed. And my encouragement to you is I know you love your parents, and I know you do. I know you love your parents because they've invested in you. But I would definitely think of strategies and ways to give back to them, not just monetarily, but to show that they can see the fruits of their labor because they're putting all their stakes into you.
Right. Yeah.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
You're
so
right.
that's just holding each other accountable. And that's what we do on this show. Like, hey, if I'm wrong, you need to tell me, Cookie, you know that wasn't right. Because I'm not far removed from getting corrected. Just because, you know what I'm saying, we all need help and guidance and correction, and we need that support for one another. So in order for you to be desperate, you need to make sure you have a go-for-it attitude. Make sure you have the right circle aligned with you.
Right.
Hey.
Absolutely.
The right people. Make sure you're desperate for your goals, your aspirations. Make sure your desperation and what you're chasing after is worth chasing.
Yeah.
Ain't no time for you to be chasing after no man that don't want you.
Okay.
Ain't no time to be chasing after no female that ain't want you for the time of day. You ain't got time for that.
Or only want you for your coins, or only want you for the physical, or only want you for something that is other than all of what you have to offer.
Yeah,
right. Out
especially
here.
like, and then if you don't know your self-worth, then they're just going to take you for everything that you can give. And, you know.
You ain't got time for that. So, shout out to all the haters and all the congratulators, all the people in general that are desperate for whatever. Make sure if you continue to be a thought, but do it with all you have. If you are an entrepreneur, be a full-time entrepreneur and go for it. If you are a pastor, minister, go for it with all that you have. If you just want to clock in and out, give it your best. Don't do it shoddy job. Go for it and put your all into it. It does not matter. And the reason why I want to make it relatable to everybody, because everybody knows their place. They know their season. They know what they need to do. And sometimes when you have friends around you that really care about you and they give you a quick kick, swift, or whatever in the behind to say, you know, you can do better. Don't get mad at them. You may not receive it right then, but at least be like, you know what, they was right.
They were right.
We have to learn how to take constructive criticism is
Right.
what I was trying to say, because At the end of the day, my grandmother taught me everybody's not out to get you.
Nope.
Like, the world is not after you. You are a speck in a world of billions of people, so everybody can't possibly be out to get you. So, you know, take some things that people say as constructive criticism, and like T said, if it's downplaying you, use that same negativity to turn around to fuel you up and to keep you pushing and keep you motivated.
Your tank should always be on full.
Always
on full, never on E. Speaking of that, I need to get some gas after we leave here. But, you know, I'm just saying, ain't nobody pushing no car today.
You're not the only one. I got 36 miles.
Hot, Jesus.
Getting an extra tan, okay? Get my melanin game up. So I'm just saying that, you know, we have to be desperate for it right now, and this is our outlook. This is what we have to be desperate. So when you hear this episode, please use the hashtag I'm desperate, the number 4 success. And guess what, you guys? We're going to be giving out some actual free comedy tickets.
Ooh.
It'll be